Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm Amanda Fowler of inspiringinkin.com. In today's video we're going to be making this card. It's a heat embossed vellum card and it's actually got colours, Stampin Up markers on the back of the vellum to give this really lovely subtle effect. So let's get started. I'm going to start with some of the stamping and punching first, so I can get all of the components ready. So I've got some Whisper White cardstock and some Pear Pizzazz ink. The stamp set is called Hey You, and I'm going to use the Happy Birthday stamp. As with all of our clear mount stamps, do give them a really good press onto the block. Press and count to 3 and then they'll stick really nicely. So I'm going to stamp the Happy Birthday and then punch it out using the large oval punch. So it's a perfect fit. And then for this element just underneath, this is the decorative label punch, and I don't know how easy it is for you to see, but I've actually embossed that using the Spring Flowers textured embossing folder. I know you can only see a tiny bit of it, but it really does make a difference. So I'm just going to pop that in there and get my texture boutique and just put that through. Just wind it through. So there you go. So hopefully you can see there, that's just giving it a little bit of texture. So I'll just stick that one on, so the stamped image there, onto the top there. Now what I am going to do is I'm just going to trim these little points off. They just stick out over the, or above the oval, and I just think it looks a little bit neater if they're just trimmed off. There we go. So that's that piece. Okay, so let's do the embossing now. Now this is vellum, it's Stampin' Up's vellum cardstock. You can hear it. It's really sturdy cardstock, brilliant for embossing on. As always with heat embossing, we're going to use Versamark ink, best ink for embossing, and we're going to use this background stamp, which is lovely Lacy background. So I'm going to ink up the stamp all over. And then put it down over the top of the vellum. Give it a really good press, background stamp. So you need to really give it a good press and then peel it off gently. Now whilst I've got the background stamp on the Versamark out, I'm just going to emboss on the inside. If I just show you, I hope the camera can pick up a little border here that I've embossed in white. So that's for the inside of the card. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do it this way. Let me just double check that there's plenty of ink on there. I'm just going to pop that down and just give it a good press over the top. Just means then I get a nice neat edge and border. Okay. Right. So this is my white embossing powder. So that's going on there. And also I'm going to get the vellum and do exactly the same, cover that over with the embossing powder. Just hold it by the edges and then you won't knock the embossing powder off. Okay, I'll give it a good old tap. Okay, so now I'm going to get my heat gun and start to emboss. You'll be able to see that it goes from sort of a pale colour to white and shiny. So that's the vellum done, and then I'm just going to do the inside as well. Okay, so now in order to get the coloured areas here, what we're actually going to do is, this is the shiny side of the embossing, we're going to flip it over and we're going to get some markers. These are our Stampin' Up markers, they're water-based markers. If you've not come across our markers before, they have a wide white line and that denotes a fibre tip, and then a thin white line and that denotes the sort of fine pen tip. The markers have got a reservoir in the middle, so make sure you store them horizontally, store them flat like this, not on their end, because then all the ink goes to one end or the other end. What I'm going to do is colour in. I'm just going to show you one or two to begin with. It's the colour in on the back. Now the brilliant thing about this colouring in is you don't need to be too precise. Because of the embossing on the other side, you'll be able, if I put that behind it, you'll be able to see better. It doesn't matter too much if you go over the lines. Now, obviously, I'm not going to play the whole video whilst I'm colouring in. So, by the magic of video, ooh, ta-da! Here's one I made earlier. Okay, so you can see, so this is the reverse, this is the back, and this is the front. And you can't really tell anything until you actually put it onto a piece of white cardstock and it pops out. Oh, I didn't tell you what the colours were. This one is Pear Pizzazz, this one Blushing Bride, and this one Daffodil. Okay. So we need to put a piece of white card underneath this to make it pop. Now most glue will actually show through on vellum, so you need some kind of special glue. And I've recently discovered, but they've been in the catalogue for forever, these adhesive transfer sheets that Stampin' Up have. And you get 12 sheets, this kind of size, about A5 size I think. And if I peel it up, I don't know how well the camera's going to do with this, but there are lots and lots and lots and lots of tiny little dots. And what you can do is just get your piece of vellum, pop it down, rub it over, and then you can peel it back off And then it's got all these tiny dots on the back, and it just means that it will all stick down really well. Now I'm just buttoning this up against the edge there and there. And then I'm just going to trim this off, just so it's exactly the same size. So I'm not actually going to see anything sticking out. Obviously you can use your trimmer if you want to. My scissors are here, so I'll just do it this way now. So then we need the trusty Tombow and a piece of pear and a piece of daffodil. So I'm going to put this on the piece of pear cardstock. Right, so I need some dimensionals for this. Now with the dimensionals, make sure you put one either side of here, because the ribbon is actually going to go across the middle there, and then that will keep it stuck tight to the card. So that's going to go on there like that. So let's position where we want that to go. So then if you hold the ribbon down and flip it over, you know where to put your snail. So that it will line up nice and straight. There and there. Okay. Now this piece needs more glue. We can put it on the card, on the card base, on the card front. This is daffodil, so that's going on there like so. And to put the happy birthday on, we're then going to put the embossed piece on the inside. Like so. And then we're going to get the little tiny roses. These are made of resin in Blushing Bride. They're really delicate, really pretty. And they're just going to go either side of this, but we need some more glue dots. So just pop a glue dot on each one, and then it will just sit either side of the happy birthday. Like so. Okay, so they have the finished vellum card with the really subtle colouring on the reverse. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that you've seen, or for more creative inspiration, please pop over to my blog www.inspiringinkin.com. You'll also find me on Facebook and Pinterest under Inspiring Inkin. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.